How in the past have you pitched your bosses on stuff with experience? How have you sold the ideas, to leadership?
Like for me, I'm a visual person, so I try to do the same thing. Always bring an example and let them visually experience what I'm talking about because I think words can only go so far. So
Mhm.
letting them experience it, also presenting research on how it's helped previous events and
Yeah.
other people, and then showing the return. I think you always have to show that return, whatever that might be, whatever your objectives were, how we'll see that come back, and then hopefully have some data that can drive that.
Yeah.
But then also a second part to that is also finding your ally within the organization. Like,
That's smart.
if you can find one or more decision makers that
Yeah.
understand your vision, that are usually on board with
Hmm.
your own personal brand and what you think is important, it makes it a lot easier to sell to the rest of them. It's that same idea of like two brains are better than one. So yeah, when
Yeah.
I'm pitching an idea, it's great to know that I have an army behind me that believes in the idea and I'm not just going in it alone.
I love that you said that. So two parts there. The first is the fact that understanding your audience when you're going to leadership is big,
Yes.
right? We've literally worked with event marketers, event managers that have told us like, hey, look, when we go up here, Dave's going to hate it. He's going to hate it right
Yeah.
away. And they're like, but Jennifer's going to love it. I'm telling you right now, that's the person, that's the one they do know sometimes. And then I think the other really good, vital piece of advice you just gave there is tie it to things that matter, goals and objectives. Don't just throw ideas out there and be like, hey, this would be cool, right? It's tie it to what matters to the business. What are the business initiatives? What are the goals? What are objectives? What are things that are going on inside the company where you can prove to your leadership that you're not just a planner. You're a business person. You're thinking through the lens of what the business needs and the direction. I think that's really important to tie it all together because ideas are
Mm-hmm.
just ideas.
Yeah.
Ideas, you have to tie it together. I love that you brought that up.
And I think every detail, it's important to take it back up to the objectives. Like
Yeah.
always thinking about the objectives in every decision you're making and pitching. Oftentimes that gets overlooked, right? Because you do think, okay, I just need to do something creative here. Like, how am I going to stand out? And then you can think of really cool ways to do it. But then if it doesn't go back to the objective and it doesn't make sense for that particular event that you're planning, it's really hard to sell.